it'll actually auto start your MagicMirror. Now that it's connected to the internet, the undefined and all that other weird stuff should remove itself, because it can actually connect to the internet. And now we've got the actual updated MagicMirror. You might get an alert up at the top that says a new update available for the MagicMirror, and that means you have to do the git pull and npm install. Okay, and so you'll have to cd into your MagicMirror directory if you have that issue. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my config file over from my other Raspberry Pi 3. And so I'm just basically cding into the directory, in the MagicMirror directory, and then the config directory. And then I'm going to edit sudo nano config.js. And basically that's the configuration file. And so you can see in here it says your OpenWeather API key. What I'm doing is I'm going to copy my API keys over from my other Raspberry Pi. But if you want to get a key so you can get that little cool weather forecast that I had on the top right of my other mirror, basically you go to openweathermap and you can get an API key for free. And basically you just have to verify your email and you can get the key really quick. And there's some really cool things you can do with that key, and there's other modules in the MagicMirror library. If you go to GitHub and check out the MagicMirror module, the MagicMirror library, there's a bunch of other modules that are custom that you can actually add to your MagicMirror. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting in my openweathermap keys in this JSON file, and then the config file. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and change this to Chico, because that's where I'm located at. And then what I'm going to do is you can go to any news website that's like local around your area and basically look for an RSS feed, and it'll be usually an XML file. And you want to grab that URL and throw it in right here. And you'll find this kind of towards the bottom of that config file. So you just grab that XML file. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually grabbing the RSS feed from my local news. It's Chico News and Review. And what that's going to do is that's going to actually put the news down in the bottom of my mirror. And then for your calendar, you can get a URL if you know how to get your iCal or it's like, it ends in like .ics URL for your calendar. You can basically add your calendar as well too. So you saw the events on my other MagicMirror that was up on the wall at the beginning, the one that I had with the regular Raspberry Pi 3. And now that I've got all of those updated, I just hit Control X and yes, and I updated it. And then what I'm doing is I'm just rebooting my MagicMirror from my my laptop. And so now it's just rebooting, and those modules should all show up. And the only one that's missing from my original MagicMirror that's up on the wall, the one that's in the Raspberry Pi 3, is my my temperature sensor, because I haven't installed that yet. I've got to actually grab a couple of wires and connect it to the different data points, and then pretty much I have to add a Python library or something like that. But I just didn't want to do it for the sake of this demonstration, because all of this you can actually do by yourself. And if you don't have a temperature sensor, it just made more sense not to show that one, as I just wanted to replicate the Raspberry Pi 3 and throw it up on my Raspberry Pi 0. And so now basically what I can do is I can take my my Raspberry Pi 0 and I can go ahead and pretty much just swap it out. And you can see there it's got, let me go ahead and reboot this one more time. It looks like I forgot to reboot it here because it's still showing the New York Times in the original configuration, but here we go. Now you can see that it's got my calendar up in the top left, and then it's got Chico News and Review at the bottom, and there's the OpenWeatherMaps configuration that was set up with the OpenWeatherMaps API key. I hope you liked my video. Make sure to leave a comment, check out my website, www.thesmarthomeninja.com, and subscribe for more content. Thank you.